Visibility wise, do you know what? I think sometimes it can work in your favour and sometimes it works against you. Because I used to think, oh my God, am I just, even getting to Central St. Martin's, I used to think, am I just ticking this box because they need someone to fill their quota? Or am I actually good? When I actually got my first proper job, I suppose, I knew that they wanted me for me because I'd built up my portfolio. And yeah, I most probably was. I was actually the only person of colour in the place. A-level art teacher, I think she found me in the common room, again, not in my art class or anywhere that I should be. And she said, what are you doing? Why are you here? This is going to destroy you. You are a talented designer, artist. And she gave me places to check out. And one of them was Kingsway College. And that was one of the best things she ever did for me.
Have you ever been told to shrink yourself to fit into spaces you were never meant for? Today, we delve into the transformative journey of Angela Lyons, a graphic designer. We'll uncover what it takes to claim your space unapologetically, charging your worth, leading with authenticity, and different ways to show up fully in every room. Angela also opens up about harnessing her creative power, not just in design, but in her business frameworks and community building. She built a community through cycling, networking, and her podcast, Creatives Like Us. She speaks candidly about the tension between battling self-doubt and rejection and how others see her. Angela found ways to move forward. She kept showing up, reminding herself that imperfect ideas still hold value.
I've got better over the years of not apologising. That takes time because even when you're younger, and you're doing certain things either in school or the workplace, I always found myself apologising. And I've noticed it's coming through, actually, funny enough, through my children. Was like, we're walking down the road, someone might bump into them or someone's coming towards them. And even though they don't need to say sorry, I was like apologetic. They're like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, no, you're cool. You're in a good space. You don't need to say, don't need to apologise. And with work, I think I always found myself not apologising, but always making up for like, oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry about that. But there was nothing to be sorry about. And I even do it. I have to hold myself back. Even now when I write up emails, if I haven't got back to somebody in time, and I try not to say, oh, sorry about that, or apologies. It's like, I'm in my space. I'm doing the best as I can. Don't need to apologise all the time. So take back those apologies as much as you can. Obviously, if you've done something wrong, you apologise. My friend Io Abbas, she had recently did a talk, said getting scrappy with it. And I just thought that's such a great title. We are entrepreneurs, we are creatives. No one gives us a rule book to go by. So you have to create your own. Even though it seems like on the outside to people it's structured, it is quite messy. And I know that I've done stuff when I've gone, oh my gosh, I've done that, but I should have done that first. Or, you know what, I'm going to try this. This is all messiness to me. So even coming to my podcast, to contacting certain people I want to work with or want to talk to, it's all messy, really. You just create your systems from that afterwards. Being bold, people say I am. And sometimes I don't see it myself. I get compliments on my work. I get compliments on my podcast. I get compliments on some, where I look, and people say, "Oh, you're so bold. You're so colourful. You say this. You say that." And it's funny. I don't really see myself as that, but I'm just doing me. So yeah.
Why do you think you don't feel that way?
It's funny. I was talking to my family member about this yesterday, saying I was always the tall one with a group of friends, and I was always the bold one. They thought I was the bold one because I stood out. And I was like, I didn't want to stand out. I actually wanted to bring myself down. But I don't always see myself as being bold. But yeah, people say I am, and I am, I suppose. Yeah.
So from being someone who don't feel confident enough in yourself at that time, how did you start your creative career?
Funny enough, I wasn't always a graphic designer. I actually studied at Central St. Martin's, and I suppose that was my professional start from design wise. And I studied product design, and from there, I say that's pretty much of my designer career, I suppose. I'd left school and I was at an all-girls Catholic school, and I was like, I've had enough of this. I didn't want to be I didn't want to stay on and do A-levels there. Even though I was really good at art, I was like, that's what I wanted to do, A-level art. And I also did A-level English and A-level law. God knows why. And art, they did not work at all. And I went to a college where there were lots of influences and lots of, I suppose, men. And I just come from an all girls Catholic school, and not that I was going out with any of them or anything, but I was like, who are these people, kind of thing. I was not sheltered, but I suppose a lot of my friends were girls, so I didn't really hang out with guys. And from there, it was just mad, and I just had a good time. I was meant to be doing A levels, but I was in the common room playing blackjack. I always say to my to my friends, I got an A level in blackjack. So I played around with that for yeah, and then my art teacher. My A level art teacher, I think she found me in the common room again, not in my art class or anywhere that I should be. And she said, "What are you doing? Why are you here? This is going to destroy you. You are a talented artist. You need to go and do something else." And she gave me, I wish I remember her name. She gave me a list of places to check out. And one of them was Kingsway College. And that was one of the best things she ever did for me. I think she saved me. And I went there and I did a BTEC. And what I loved about that BTEC is that you studied art, fine arts, ceramics, graphic design, product design, metalwork. It was just all these creative outlets. I'm in love with the arts. I'm in love with like creating anything and everything. And I loved product design. So that's why I went on to Central St Martin's and did my degree there. So yeah, that's I suppose my start education wise. And then that Central St Martin's, it led me to mine. But even then, that was still hard. I didn't get a job straight away. As you know, coming out of uni, it's really hard. I'd exhibited a piece of work at the New Designers. It was Habitat saw my work. I did furniture, and they said, "Would you like to come and work for us for a couple of weeks in the summer?" And I was like, "Yes." That doesn't happen, just like that. So I was like, of course. I didn't even know what the job was. I turned up and I was covering reception because the lady was on maternity leave. Best thing ever. Because they even let me design a few things. I don't know if they ever got made into anything. But yeah, I was still a receptionist too. But there was a graphic designer in the corner of the studio, and he was doing all the artwork and the packaging. It's like, "What are you doing?" And he was showing me what he was doing. And then at lunchtime, I'd like just hang around with him and do some work on his Mac. And then I thought, you know what, I really love this. And I always loved presenting work, especially at uni. So yeah, I went and did an evening class. And then from there, oh my gosh, things happen for a reason. From there, when I was in this evening class, a local company, a printing company came in. They were looking for apprenticeships. And and they were offering it up to the students. And I applied and I got it. The start of my career, graphic design.
Wow, that story you just told me about up from leaving from uni to your encounters with different people, I think you've actually sounded like you grew quite a lot in that period of time, from I don't want to be seen, I'm the tallest person, to wow, I'm this opportunity and this opportunity. Because universe sounds like it was opened your eyes to so much. And did you find that your confidence grew and you were more visible in everything that you do from that moment onwards?
I say so. It gave me confidence to, again, I applied for that apprenticeship scheme. And most of it I wouldn't have done. The people I met at college and uni, like for example, one of the guys in my class, his dad was Dyson, James Dyson. So all these people around me, and they were just like smashing it. And not saying that I still wasn't 100%, who is actually, who is confident 100%. Even for the last few years, I've been working on it. But different strands of confidence, I suppose, because those days it was more so confidence because I need a job. Recently, confidence wise, I've been working on because I want to do speaking. I want to tell people about my work, my podcast. I want to tell people about the event. So it's always growing and growing, and it continues to grow. Yeah, I did grow up quite a lot and get confidence in those years, especially with, what it's like in the workplace. You have to talk to people.
And building that confidence and being with other people, and working at places like Habitat, and you have to talk to other people. You've got no choice, 'cause, especially
Yeah,
working in retail
exactly.
and merchandising.
Exactly.
So your visibility was probably something that you had to do as part of your job. And so as you grew that confidence, did you ever have problems being a person of color, being visible in the jobs that you did?
Interestingly, one of the things, because my name at the time was, my maiden name was Charlemagne. So you put that on your CV, and you turn up to interviews, and people would obviously literally not expect to see a black lady turn up on their doorstep. And you can see it in their face when they look at you in your eyes, and then they look you up and down. You're like, okay, I haven't got this job. And even though I still went on and did it. Um, visibility wise, do you know what? I think sometimes it can work in your favour and sometimes it works against you. Because I used to think, oh my God, am I just, even getting to Central St. Mines, I used to think, am I just ticking this box because they need someone to fill their quota? Or am I actually good? Work wise, when I actually got my first proper job, I suppose, I knew that they wanted me for me because I'd built up my portfolio. And yeah, I most probably was. I was actually the only person of colour in the place. But I know I got it because my portfolio was good. And then throughout the years, I actually kept on getting promoted. So in that company, so I know that it wasn't just because I ticked the box on their diversity form. Most times, it has been the look when you turn up and they expected to see somebody else, not you, your person of your colour. Yeah.
Yeah, we all been there, especially people who could relate to this, because I've just spoke to a few people about, being the only one in the room. And yeah, especially on networking events. And I was going to speak to you about your networking because you seem to be the queen of networking. And everything I've seen on social media, everybody seems to know your name. A bit like Cheers, isn't it? Because every time someone says, "Oh yeah, I know Angela," and say, is it networking events? And you seem to have got this knack. Could you just tell me how did that come about? Did you always wanted to network and public speak? And how did that come about? Part of your job?
Yeah, it's part of my, I suppose it's part of my marketing now. And that's one of the things I actually speak about. Funny enough, last week I was at University of the Arts and they was having a graduate end of year show, and then they also, part of the day was to talk to people in industry, and I was asked to come and talk about, on a panel talk about networking. And I was looking at myself on this stage, I was like, oh my God, if we swapped this round and I was sitting where they're sitting and I would have said that I would have been on that stage, I'd have said, no way would I have been up there. No way. And the funny thing was they were all very, not shy, but they didn't have confidence. And I was really shocked because I thought the youngins of today would be really confident and go for it. But we're all the same. We're also like nervous. We're all like didn't want to ask questions. There's only a couple that were really wanting to ask questions all the time and have conversations. But networking, it wasn't something that I planned. One of the things I'd done was one of the things I do, I suppose, is I just say hi to people. It's so weird. Even my kids and my husband, like, say, when I'm walking down the street or at the bus stop and they say, do you know that person? I'm like, no. I was like, why are you talking to them? I was like, well, they looked me in the eye. They smiled at me. I said, good morning. And then they started a conversation. So honestly, I've actually met a group of people in my area that I've just met at the bus stop, and we go out every now and again for drinks because who knows who you're gonna impact that day. Even sometimes when I'm where I used to live, I remember there was this elderly lady. She'd come out on her porch Sunday mornings because she knew that people were going to walk past her house on the way to church because the church was at the end of her road. And I just thought she just stands out there for someone to talk to, just to say hello to. So it's just like if you say hello, you don't know whose day you're going to make. That might be the only hello of the day. That's my first into networking. Hello, how are you? Have a lovely day. Don't have to have anything more to say. And when it comes to networking business wise, I've just picked places that I'm getting better at. First of all, it was more so, yeah, it was just meeting different people, but now I'm doing it with intent. I'm not up at all different places. I'm doing it because I haven't got time to do all that. And I get invited to certain places and I just don't have time. So before I'd have said yes, yes, yes to everything. Now my word of the year actually is intent. So yeah, I'm going to places that I think will benefit me, my business, or the people that are there.
That's good. And obviously, the more you go, the more confident you get. And most people don't want to go to networking event because they feel they're going to be sold to.
Recently, I've been to net walks where you go walking. So you just walk with one person, and then you switch up and walk with somebody else. So you don't have to be in a room because sometimes people find that quite intimidating. I've seen people doing net swimming. They'll do wild water swimming. So there are so many. Of course, you've got the conferences and the marketing, the local groups that do Chamber of Commerce, and all of those traditional routes of networking. But if you don't feel comfortable walking into a room that's got maybe 30 plus people in it, try something different. And sometimes in networking, you don't always go there for the business. You go there to make connections. And I always, when I go to those places, I know it sounds weird, especially come from a marketing point of view. I never go and sell a service. I go and just be me. And if it comes up that they find out what I do, that's all good. And it has happened where I've got work out of networking events, but it's not where I've gone in and say, hello, my name's Angela Lyons. I'm a graphic designer. How can I help you? I do websites. I do branding, blah, 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 blah. It's never like that. You just say, hello, how are you? And sometimes I say, if people are standing by themselves, I said, are you taking some time out or do you want to chat? And I said, I'm cool either way, honestly. And most of the time, honestly, I think 100% of the time people have said, oh no, I'd love to chat, please stay. Also know that if I'm by myself at a networking event, I might just step back and just take it in for a minute because it does get overwhelming.
Yeah, I agree with you about the overwhelm because I went to a recent networking event in Cardiff, and I'm the type of person, I don't know if you would agree, that I hone in on people, and I look for people who haven't got anybody to talk to. And I always talk to the people obviously I'm familiar with, but I always try and see the first time that they've been there. So I struck up a conversation and I met quite a few, different people that way, especially if you've been there a few times. So yeah, and then I've noticed that you don't just go to networking events like the business and design networks. I think I've noticed that you do a lot of cycling and you're very energetic with other communities. And tell me about your other pursuits.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm with a cycling group called Black Women on Wheels, and they're based in London. So we cycle in different parts of London every 2 weeks. So it could be south, east, north, west. We also have socials, and we also have an annual a trip away. This year they're going to the Isle of Wight, which is going to be amazing. I got into it because I want to. I love exercising anyway, and I got back on my bike during lockdown. And a friend of mine said, I'm with a group. I've just seen this group that's set up. They literally just set up called Be Well. And I was like, Black Girls Do Bike, they were called at the time. And then they've since then changed their names to Black Women on Wheels. So what's this about? And I was like, okay, black cycling groups, never heard of this before. So I went along. Oh my word, it was a vibe. It was just black women. I didn't have to ask them what they did for careers. We just like cycled. We looked after each other's on the rides. We had jokes. We chat. So my first one, my friend Karen, she bought jollof rice. I was like, rah, normally people bring a sandwich or something. But and I thought, this is for me. This is I love them so much, and they've literally just done a charity ride to Southend. I love just being with them. They uplift. You've had a rubbishy week or you've had a rubbishy time. They will uplift you. Forget about because when you're cycling, especially in London, you forget about your worries because you're trying to keep safe. You're trying to keep alive. But so you forget all about all that, and then when you're with them, we stop. We just chat, have a laugh. People say what they've been up to, talk about maybe other cycling communities, talk about exercise, talk about anything and everything. Talk about holidays, kids, family. Honestly, it's just such a uplifting space. So I'd love to tell people if they're in London and they like cycling, join us. And then we're also part of I suppose an alliance with Black Unity Bike Ride, and that started up in lockdown. And that is group. You can be any nation, race, colour, whatever, but it's called Black Unity Bike Ride to come along to the rides. And they ride every August. And I think this year is their sixth year doing it. And yeah, so Be Well part of that. And there's other groups, TWR and No Limits. And they're also black cycling groups. So you'd just be surprised how many things out there, cycling wise, for black people. But yeah, and the funny thing is, out of Black Women on Wheels, I said to them, they wanted a kit designed, and I said, let me do it for you. So that's my pro bono work. That's where I give back. I used to do pro bono work throughout the year to different organisations, but ever since I've hooked up with Be Well, I do their social media. I've just designed their website. I designed their kit. The kit I absolutely love, and I love wearing it. It makes me feel really proud. So yeah.
Yeah, because you obviously built trust with that community and they're familiar with you. If someone mentions, oh, I need a logo designed or some branding, they go to you because they know that not just that you're a good designer, but you're trustworthy and you have a relationship built there already. So I was just wondering about the representation part of it, regards to like business events. What would you truly find inclusive with regards to being a part of a community? What makes you feel inclusive?
The ultimate, to be in an event and there to be seen, the speakers that attend the event, for a start, because normally at these events you'll always have a keynote speaker or you'll have someone that's doing a panel talk or something like that. So for me to have it all, for me to feel totally 100% happy with those things, I'd love to see the speakers that are there that are of colour. And it's really hard because I've noticed a few popping up, don't get me wrong, but it's always the same people I'm seeing at the moment. I'd love to see some new people pop up and put themselves forward, because even, not even gonna lie, this morning I got a text from someone and said, would you like to speak at our event? And I was like, obviously what is it about? And I was like, maybe I should, because she actually said to me, all the speakers that have replied, they're all white and they're all of a certain age, and I need some more diverse faces in there. And it's not just about colour, it's also about people with certain what's the word, health issues, I suppose. Just different people. You need a mix of people. People with, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say, don't you? It's just, I think it needs not just about colour. I think it should be all round, to be honest with you. But I don't know if those people are putting themselves forward or speaking up about it. So something like that, it's just that I think we need to definitely have more diversity in the actual people either presenting the events or putting on the events. And I think that's one of the reasons why also I started I co-created an event with my friend Ayo Abbas called Creatives Like Us. And that is for Black, brown creatives to come together and work on their business. And it's not just about networking, that's a lovely part of it, but also we have lots of talks around your business, and our speakers are talking around business, because I think that's really important too, because a lot of people just think, you know, it's hard, and then not all black people are making food or creating hair products, and that's what I always see when I go to those. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it sounds awful, and I really admire those people for doing it. But when I go to like the Black Business Show, I always see those people on display, and I don't know, or when you see grants funding for people, it's like, what about other people? People are in finance, people are in tech, people in creative industries. It's not just about food and hair.
I see it, especially when I lived in London. I think it was a safe place for people to use it. But now I think there's a lot of skills that we have, like you say, that like there's brain surgeons, scientists. And yeah, I think it's just a safe place just to stay in that lane, because that way people just know they can find you, but you're shrinking yourself. You're not
Mm,
expanding
mm.
who you are. Yeah, I think there's more to it than that, and but I think it's getting better. Definitely, it's improving.
Yeah,
Regards
yeah.
to, yeah. Tell me about your Font Love Friday. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it came about again through visibility and marketing. And I love fonts and I love colour. So I wanted to create a newsletter. So it's a monthly newsletter called Font Love Friday and other designery things. But I wanted to be a sprinkle of me, a sprinkle of fonts, sprinkle of design, a sprinkle of freelancing and having your own business. So it comes out every month, as I said. And I pick a font of the month, and I go into it a little bit of detail. And this month, for example, I've chosen some fonts that I created a logo for somebody. So I'll try and tie it back to my business somehow, or I'll try and tie it to what's going on in the world. I think a couple of years ago, I tied it to there was a font that was used for the football kit, the England kit. I've done fonts around the BBC and what they use. So it's a bit of a mix of my font, what I've used, and what I've seen out there, and designery things, just some nice things, tying it back to what people might like. This month, I spoke about illustrators, that you can buy their artwork. Freelancing, I talked about Small Business Britain. I joined their scheme, which is really brilliant. And then, yeah, just tying it around what I do. So funny enough, I'm trying to switch it up a little bit, where I have another newsletter in between, like a mini version that will come out every 2 weeks. And again, because I think a monthly is great, and I'm also trying to do what I can do, because like somebody said to me, do one thing but do it really well. So I'm thinking of just adding to it, where I'm going to talk about more about brand and marketing. So I'm really passionate about helping small businesses and freelancers promote themselves as well as promoting myself, obviously, in that along that strain. Of course, we have to. So it's going to be a newsletter around that. I've got it set up already. It's called the Creative Spark, so that will come out every 2 weeks. Yeah, and that's on brand and marketing tips.
You're busy doing something else, but you're thinking of ideas for your branding.
I was looking at your branding and the background. I was like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. I'm going to check that out.
I understand what you're coming from because some inspiration out there, but it's all relative.
My family and friends, like, I've been looking at something and they're like, what are you looking at? I'm like, why is that logo sitting like that? Or I'll see a ghost sign on the wall and I say to my daughter, because I'm driving, I was like, oh my God, take a picture of that. It's like, the ghost signs, the old fashioned 1930s where they used to paint everything. Like, quick, take a picture of that. And she's like, why do you want a picture of that? I'm like, look at the font. It's just like, look at the design.
The designer's brain. I'm the same, especially I'm a nightmare when it comes to photography. I'm always, my eyes see photography shots everywhere. I'm always stopping. I can never go down the road for too long, so I get it. So when you have a client, for example, do you like start with a font and you think that's a perfect font for that specific project?
Yeah, pretty much. It depends. Obviously, we've got to check licenses out and if they've got already branding in place. But I do, over the years, this is one thing that I've got really a lot better with is onboarding. So I have a questionnaire for the clients, find out what their business is about. Is there anything they absolutely hate? Is there anything they absolutely love? So I do try and get a lot of information from them beforehand. And after the research, then I'll suggest certain fonts for them and colours, obviously, in their branding. Yeah.
I thought on your website, on your blog, you mentioned that it's really amused me. 5 reasons you shouldn't work with me. Something happened in regards to why you wrote that article.
Funny because again, always learning, always finding out about yourselves. I actually got that idea. It's not my idea. It just repurposed, and they were happy to share it. Obviously, I was on a workshop, and it was a group, a marketing agency called Jammy Digital, and they are prolific for blog writing and obviously helping small businesses too, and also obviously they've got to make money too. And one of the things that they said, you need to have this blog on your website because people will come across it and they will either comment on it, they will either decide not to work with you, or they will work with you. And one of the reasons I put it up because I get a lot of inquiries from my website because I've done pretty good SEO. And if people want to read the blogs, they can read the blogs, they're there. But a lot of my name, if you type up or freelance graphic designer London, it will come up and I worked hard on my SEO. So that means I also get a lot of people that are just either wasting my time. I'd rather give them 5 reasons not to work with me. They can read that and they can work out if they do want to work with me. And one of the reasons I definitely 100% have to use is that if they haven't got time and that time invested in their projects, and that's one of the things that they say, oh, can you just do it? I was like, you need to tell me I need a brief. Oh, but you can just do it. Red flags. So that's why I wrote that blog. I'm glad you found it amusing. You should, honestly, feel free to lift it and repurpose it to yours because I think everybody should do it. Seriously.
Yeah, because you don't want your time wasted, but you don't want to waste the
Yeah.
potential client's time if you're not a right fit.
Yeah. And that's why also I put my prices on my website too. And I think people forget to look at the prices, or they just glaze over it. But I know that when I'm looking for anything, I'm looking for the price first. And if I don't see the price, maybe you're not the one for me, or maybe I'll make an inquiry. It depends. But it's like when you go window shopping down West End, so central London, and you pass a shop and there's no price. Like you'll go past H&M, it'll be like 19.99. Then you'll just stop round the corner to New Bond Street, no price in the window. That's going to be something. you know, it's that psychological. It's going to be expensive. I think everyone should write one of those 5 reasons not to work with me.
Part of the conversation I asked my guest, it's called Studio Drawer. It's a bit of a play on words. So physical drawer and creativity as well. That drawer that's behind the scenes, that messy drawer that no one wants to talk about that you have, what it's like to be a creative. What is the most ridiculous thing in your studio or workplace right now, and why is it there?
um, oh gosh, oh There's a couple of things. Oh, there is one that I've kept, and it featured in my newsletter. I think it's behind there over there. It's actually a leaflet that came through my door, and it was a
Yeah.
picture advertising pizza, and there was no picture of the pizza. It was just text, and it was just said a picture of a stick man, and he was holding like a pizza to deliver, and it said, "We deliver pizzas," and it was just a stick man. I was like, they really thought this marketing would work. It's like no effort involved in this stick man ad leaflet, but it made me think about it, and I thought actually it is working because I'm talking about it. And I'm still thinking about it, so I kept it. That's something that's there. It's a leaflet that came through the door, and I don't know why I've still got it. It's up there.
What's one creative experiment that completely flopped and you're still proud of it?
When I was at Central St Martin's, I did a project. We had to design it was cardboard engineering, and I really loved making things, as I said. And you had to design a package for a light bulb not to break if it was dropped from a height. And I'd like made this prototype, and I knew it
Yeah.
was going to work. I'd done it, tested it, blah blah, and it came to the presentation. So again, I hated presentations, and I think this also made me go into my shell a little bit after this. Actually, funny enough, I created this light bulb. I did my presentation, and the test was at the end. Everybody had to do it in my group, to drop your light bulb from a height in this your packaging that you'd created. And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. So I dropped it, and the light bulb just went, it smashed everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, I have so failed this project. And I had to talk about it afterwards while I'm sweeping up the like, it flopped, but it also made me think, check and triple check and triple check your products and your prototypes and your work before you send it out. So even like my podcast or work that I send to clients, if it's final PDFs or whatever, I check and double check. So the flop turns into you need to check things before you actually before you actually drop them or place them with people.
Last question in the studio drawer. I noticed on your website, you I don't want to trigger you or anything, but you have a fear of holes. If you had a client that came up to you and said, "Ange, I love your work. Can you just design me something? It's got to be all about holes." How would you approach it?
Oh my God, you're making me feel cold right now, even mentioning that. I have had work. It's actually called trypophobia.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised. A lot of people have it. I didn't when I first. My son's even got it. It could be like holes, or it could be like a drain in the ground, and like there might be grass growing through it. But I see it, and it just triggers something in my head where I just go all cold. I'm going cringy now, even thinking about it. If a client came up to me and did that, I do have clients now that give me work, and can you see I'm a bit stressed? So, I'm holding my head right now. I work on a music magazine called The Strads, and one of the projects, it was, do you know that a bridge across a violin? You
Yes.
know that where the strings are on, it's called a bridge, that's where the strings rest within the instrument. And so I was doing a layout and this on a workshop of this luthier, and his studio was just full of bridges, and those bridges were creating certain hole shapes, and I just went, I can't. I had to like literally do it with my eyes half closed, and then I wanted to be sick afterwards. I've had projects with people who have like sunflower, and I love sunflowers, but if you zoom in on a sunflower that shape, oh, honeycombs, oh, it's weird. Being a graphic designer having trypophobia is not great.
No. But you seem to be, you're not turning customers and clients away.
If they had some massive project on that, I'd be like calling one of my associates. I'll call you, Heather.
Yeah.
Actually, should I say call you and say, "Will you work on this for me, please?"
Yeah. Ask someone to do it for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hire them
exactly,
out.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, moving on very quickly. I'm sorry I put you through that. What's one thing you're still figuring out that you wish most people would talk about openly in the creative industry?
Number one is money. Don't be scared to ask for it. I think a lot of creatives, and I've come across, obviously nowadays it's cost of living crisis. The designers, freelancers, small businesses, it's tough out there, especially with the emergence of AI and people saying, "Oh, I can put that into ChatGPT, or I can press a button and that'll be creative and that'll do this." So know your worth, like just know how much to charge, and you've had all this years experience or starting out, you're still a creative. So basically charge for your creativity. I think I think that's quite tough for creatives to hear sometimes, because they're like, oh, I'm just going to do this and it's going to be wonderful, and it'll be out there and everyone's going to be, I'll be famous for it, or my work's out there and I love it. I don't need to charge a client for it, or I don't need to do that. Well, yes, you do. Otherwise, somebody else is going to come along and you'll just get into this pattern of doing either work for peanuts or for free, and you need to charge your worth.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ange. If someone wants to reach out to you and support your business, how would they do that? Via, your social handles?
Sure, yeah, yeah. So my first port of call is to read the blog, 5 Reasons Not to Work with Me.
Yeah,
I'm joking, I'm joking. But I
definitely.
was going to say, first port of call is my website. You'll get everything about me there. It's lionscreative.co.uk, and Lions is Lyons, like Lyons, if you're Hyacinth Bouquet. Um, and you can check me out on LinkedIn, Angela Lyons. I pop up there. And also, Instagram is Angela Lyons. Again, just type in Angela Lyons, I'll pop up. You can find me on my podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, called Creatives Like Us, where I talk to Black and brown creatives and in business and creative industries. And I've had the lovely Heather on, so you can listen to that episode. But yeah, find out various places to find me. Either send me an email or DM. If you listen to this podcast, I'm happy to chat. I'm happy to work with you if you've got anything you want to work on or talk about or some advice. I'm always here, and if I can help, this is what I always say to people: if I can help, I will try my best to help. So yeah.
Excellent. And of course, all the details will be in the description of this episode. So thank you very much, Ange. It's been excellent. It's been wonderful talking to you again.
Thank you so much, Heather. Keep up the good work. It's amazing what you're doing, and I love that we've had another time to chat. It's amazing after years of not speaking, and like here we are again. So
Yeah,
thank you so
not leave
much.
it so long
It's been
next
great.
time.
Yeah, we won't, definitely not. And it's been so great to see what you're doing, and keep up the good work.
Angela has faced challenges that will feel familiar: unpaid projects, being overlooked in spaces that don't always reflect her, and the constant pressure to make creativity pay the bills. But instead of shrinking, she built systems, contracts, boundaries, and fair pricing. She gave herself permission to create imperfectly. And when the industry didn't open doors, she built her own, through communities like Creatives Like Us and the projects that amplify overlooked voices. The result wasn't a neat journey, but a reframing. Rejection became redirection, undervaluation became strength, and visibility became something she defined on her own terms. As you reflect on Angela's story, ask yourself, where are you still apologizing for your creativity? Do you have boundaries in place that truly protect your worth? And how can you take up more space, visibly, unapologetically, even if it feels imperfect? Thank you for listening. If Angela's story resonated with you, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, or share this episode with a fellow creative who needs the reminder. Because bold voices and messy journeys deserve zero apologies.